Hi, I'm Luma. Today is May 6, 2023. Well, the big question that people are always asking me is, when am I going to see the shifts really happen in 3D? When am I going to see it? And in my last video last week, I said that Earth is now within the Protectorate of Light. The balance has tipped from dark to light. Light is now running and streaming. I'm calling this eternal living light. It's starting to run and stream through the planetary body, and it's coming into our physical body. So a lot of people are feeling this pressure. Like, we know something shifted, but we can't quite understand. We can't quite see it yet. People are feeling stuck. You know, I work one-on-one with individuals, and this is a big question that happens all the time. If you're interested in one-on-one work, check out my website, link below. So I'm going to quickly run through a couple of points just to maybe bring you a sense of ease. And I went into greater depth in looking at the shifts and actually where we are right now, what we've moved out of. And I'll be going to post this up in a two-part conversation, a two-part transmission that I recorded with my friend. Her name is Suny, and she was here visiting. We studied metaphysics and creation mechanics, which is how to understand the larger multidimensional energetic structures behind what we experience here as 3D physical reality. And so check that out, that two-part transmission. If you want some real in-depth, high-level information, may not be for everybody, but we really wanted to share some of that to really give that multi-dimensional, big picture context for where we are and what's happening in the changes that that we're seeing and we're not seeing. All right, so when are we going to start seeing the changes? When our multi-dimensional perception expands and opens. Yeah, we have been living in a very limited, one-dimensional version of reality. So if we're looking for changes in that one dimension, we're not really going to be seeing them right now. Yeah. So a lot of us, our perception has already expanded. We can feel there's a lot of changes, you know. Why I'm sharing this information is that I have the gift of seeing. Yeah, I can see, I can hear in the other dimensions. I got some direct connections into angelic levels of creation and beyond. So that's why I'm sharing this information, okay? So, multidimensional perception, that is expanding. And it's expanding in a feeling capacity. Yeah, it's expanding through our hearts. So the shift is, we have been so mentally focused in a very limited part of our mental capacity, a very limited part of our mental body. We have, that's our lower mind, you could call it. We also have a higher mind. We've got a super consciousness access. Our mind is like, a lot has been very misused, abused, and extremely limited. So when we're looking for changes through that lens of like the rational, limited mind, when we're just looking in one dimension, we're not going to see the massive big changes that are going on. Okay, so trust your feelings, yeah? And trust the discomfort that you're feeling, because you're outgrowing the old versions of yourself. Yes, you're outgrowing the old versions of yourself, and it's really uncomfortable. It's kind of like we're like snakes that never shed our skins, right? We just kept, like, the old skins would die, and we're just hauling all this old stuff, old obsolete information around. So now we're actually starting to shed that, those old versions of ourselves. We're shedding a lot of obsolete information. We're shedding a lot of old stories about ourselves, stories about humanity, old stories about Earth, old stories about power, our relationship to the spiritual realms, sovereignty and slavery. We're shedding a lot of those stories really quickly. How is that happening? A lot of it is happening in our dream time. So again, a lot of comments, a lot of feedback from people that there is a lot happening at nighttime. Very vivid dreams, strange dreams, nightmarish kind of dreams. So we are doing massive clearing at the mental level and the astral level, that's dimension 4, in our dream time. And this is great. It's really efficient, because if that was happening all day long, we probably could not function. Also too, people are reporting a lot of sleep disturbances. So sometimes, yeah, the energies are really strong and we wake up. So if you're awake in the night, just rest, just let your body rest. And whatever's going through your mind, just say, okay, get the bubble wash in my mind here, just clean it out. Let the purge happen, allow it to happen. So we're really unplugging from states of anxiety, states of fear about the future, yeah? So the light is coming in, helping to soften down that hard crust of fear that prevents and closes our vision, that keeps us veiled, so we can't actually see the transformation that we are in the midst of, which is massive. It's massive. Okay, so so here's another way of understanding why we're not maybe seeing the change that we are wanting and hoping to see yet. Okay, so the old structures. So the old structures that have been in place on this planet for a very, very long time, because life on this planet has been organized in a very specific way to explore free will, to explore separation from source. Earth is returning back to source, so that means there's a whole new program. So the old program is getting recalibrated. The old information is getting deleted, and there's new information coming in. So a lot of you got to clear out the old, so let the new information come in so we can start to see in new ways, okay? This is already happening in the background, okay? So if you understand that our physical reality manifests 3D physical form is like our front end that's visible to us. It's visible life, yeah? We also have what you could call a back end, right? So that's your higher selves, your angelic selves, your soul, the higher levels, all the dimensions and realms that we would call invisible or unseen. But they're very real. And it's as the information comes through those, the back end, light shines through, and the front end, if you think of your physical body as a crystal prism, like the one you'd hang in the window and light shines through and it makes rainbows. So the light's coming through, let's say the back end, yeah, all the way from direct source, eternal light coming through. You had a lot of interference for because of the distortions that were running on the planet, so it wasn't getting through very clearly. That is getting cleaned up. What do we mean? Life, Earth is under the Protectorate of Light. A lot of that interference is getting cleaned out. Who's doing it? Well, we're multi-dimensional beings, so our other levels of self are probably involved with some of that cleanup. Yep. There's other beings who don't exist in physical form. They're helping with the cleanup. So as an example of that, you know, I look out here at the sky here every day, and some days there's tons of chemtrails. Okay, I know a couple people have asked questions about chemtrails, so something that I've been aware of multidimensionally is there are air elemental beings. Air elemental beings, I know them as selves. That work to maintain the balance of the air and the atmosphere of the planet, just like there are earth elementals, water elementals, fire elementals, mineral elementals, okay? So I'm seeing them really clearly now, especially on days when there's a whole lot of chemtrails. I can see the air elementals. So again, my multidimensional vision is opening. I've been taking a lot of pictures. I post them up on my Telegram channel. There's a link below if you want to check that out as well. And so I can see those chemtrails being dispersed. So what I understand the air elementals are doing is they're returning minerals and elements that don't naturally belong in the air back to where they belong. Okay, so we got help on many dimensions. So what can we do? We can look, we can acknowledge, we can see, yeah, there's still toxic stuff being blown into our skies. And yes, it is getting dispersed. And yes, there are air elementals. That's part of enjoying a multidimensional perception and living on this earth, is that we get to be in contact, communication, and communion with a whole lot more of the phenomena of life that's been totally blinkered to us because we've been living in this limited, separated version of 3D, like in a little tiny black box. And we're like plopped down in the middle of the Garden of Eden. And we're stuck in this black box. We're bursting out. We're actually, the doors are open. We're already free. We're not used to it. We're adapting really rapidly. Okay. So the, part of the adaptation is, again, clearing out. We're doing a massive, massive purge. How long is it going to last? People are asking. Let's just say that's what's going on right now. We're all in that process. Everybody's in a process of purging, whether they want to do it or not. So I say, get with the program and say, okay, I'm purging. So if that's at the physical level, you know, so a lot of people are commenting and sharing about really intense physical experiences. Okay, so maybe there's a few lifestyle changes that you can make where you can be making those changes right now, right? You can actualize those changes. Make those adjustments to your lifestyle, to your diet, to what you're exposing yourself to on your devices and computers and TVs. You know, do some cleanup there as well. And so I mentioned also too the cleanup that's happening in dream time at the mental level. Yep, people experiencing cleanup at the emotional level too. A lot of people have been sharing about being able to actually express their truth to people that it's been really hard to express their truth to. Let's just say it that way, okay? And so there's a lot of emotional clearing up too. A lot of like putting in correct boundaries, not playing the blame game anymore, not shaming, not blaming others, okay? Taking self-responsibility, saying no in a correct way, and disengaging from all those projection dynamics. So you know, in 3D, everything runs on projection. Us versus them, you're bad, you're good, you're evil, you're blah, blah, you know, back and forth like this. And it just generates, an artificial kind of light field. And that's what we see. It's like the plug got pulled on that technology. Like the plug got pulled on that at the back end level, okay? That's the invisible, unseen to most of us here. That's gradually making its way through. So that gap between the back end, that gap between our higher level selves, our spirit level selves, our soul level selves, and our, you know, our 3D human incarnate self here, there's like a huge gap. Let's just say that gap is closing, right? And so I talked about that a couple videos ago about our higher levels, or our soul, or angelic selves, merging with our human selves, okay? How do we know that's happening? Oh, a deep sense of well-being, levels of peace, quietness, contentment. Again, let yourself turn your attention toward those experiences. If you're really exhausted, rest. If you're really tired, lay down. Oh, you're going through a lot of change. Everybody's going through a lot of change, okay? So let's, clearing out, we did mental, physical, emotional, yeah, okay, relationships, holy, hot for a lot of people, hot seat for a lot of people right now. There's a real push to upshift your expression, your authentic self's coming through and it's doing a cleanup job. There may be people in your life that's not correct, for you to be really in close, intimate contact with. Yeah. That could be jobs, that could be where you live, location. A lot of people are asking questions about these kinds of things these days, okay? So as we're doing the cleanup, things will come more clear. So again, think of ourselves, our bodies, as a crystal prism that's been covered in a whole bunch of black sticky goo. So actually our authentic light couldn't shine clearly through. So that's why we get this distorted version of reality. And again, I encourage you, if you want to go into more detail in a creation mechanics, metaphysics understanding, please check out my 2 conversations with my friend Sunny. We go into a lot of detail at that level. If you want more and you want to geek out with us, please check out those videos. Okay, to explain, let's say, the mechanics and the structures behind how we are experiencing reality and the shifts that we're going through. Okay, so a couple more points I want to share with you today. One is an image that came to me really clearly of, okay, so the old structures, yeah? Why does it look like they're all still there, you know? So it's like these light frequencies and sound frequencies have already come in. They're already coming in and hitting the planet. They're coming in internally through us, through our heart centers is primarily where they come through. We're all internally, eternally sourced beings. Most of us are. So those sound frequencies come in, and it's like a sound frequency, like a high-pitched sound frequency hitting like a wine glass, you know, and all the structure of the glass cracks, but there's a moment, right, where it still looks like it's a wine glass, even though it's totally cracked, and then it just shatters and falls to pieces, right? So it's like the sound frequencies have already hit the old structures. They're all really cracked. This has been happening ongoing and like quite a while ago, actually, like quite a while ago. So the sound frequencies have hit the wine glass. It's totally cracked. And then there's like this plasma gel that's come in. This plasma gel that's like holding that old structure in place, so it's still in external reality looks the same, even though some big transformation is going on. Big transformation. So it still looks like a wine glass. It's totally cracked. All the pieces of glass are totally cracked. There's a plasma gel, like a transparent clear plasma gel around it. So if you look at it, it still looks like it's whole. Yeah. But what's happening on the inside is all those little shards of glass are being absorbed into that plasma gel. I like to think of it as a shock absorbing gel. Absorbs it in, transforms the structure while it's still maintaining its outer appearance of form. Okay? So where are these plasmas? What is this plasma? I've been seeing this for quite a while. Some people have been talking about it as well. So it's like, think of the plasmas like a bridging frequency, something that's coming in to stabilize our systems and structures while we go through a massive upgrade, a massive and rapid expansion, a massive change where tons of old obsolete information from the past millions of years of Earth history are like transmuting, transforming to begin a whole new cycle that's already actually initiated and started. And so we're in this blend zone, right? So we're still seeing the old structures. We're still seeing like old habits of ourselves, but they don't have the power behind them anymore. Check it out. Are you just an actor in your life? Are you watching actors on TV and on the news? Are they real? Do they have any power or substance behind them anymore? Yeah. Several people, I really loved your comments about saying that you're feeling really bored. That's because like your old like fictitious actor self, like that old structure, your old personality that you had to put on that veil to fit in to this density, to forget the eternal source, incredible multidimensional being that you are in order to function here. Yeah. Everybody had to do that. Every single human that incarnates has to take that on when you come here. What are we doing? We are, again, like shedding all those old skins. It's like the snake that was, you know, never let go of its old skins. It's been carrying them all around. It's like, now we can just let him go because we've already grown a new skin. Yeah. We're growing, regrowing our capacities. We're strengthening abilities that we had to put asleep and went dormant and latent, and we never got to self-actualize ourselves. So, you know, it's kind of funny to like self-actualize and go through a process, you know, in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s even, my goodness, that, you know, we might have gone through in the first 7 years of our life, but that didn't happen because of the distortions running on the planet. Again, if you're interested in more details about that, I'll be sharing more about creation mechanics, the energetic structures that we don't see that are becoming more visible. So as we're kind of going through this shift and reprogramming reality with our own light. Okay, so in the meantime, you know, people are saying, what can I do? What can I do? What do I need to do right now? Focus on how you would like to be living your life right now, and take little actions in your personal life, in your personal sphere right now. Yeah. What is it? I want to have more healthy food. How are you gonna get it? Yeah. Where can you get it? Locally. Where can you get things locally? Like really on the ground, practical things. Okay. Stop feeding fear. Stop feeding fear with your attention. There is so much fear mongering going on from many different angles. Okay, many different angles. So it keeps our perception limited, very limited, and we can't see the changes that are going on. Okay, so any way you can to soften, melt down, like a lot of people are being forced to face some of their deepest unconscious fears. Why? Are they being punished? No. So that fear, it's like a dense substance, can be transformed, transmuted. The energy that created it needs to be liberated to grow new life. So the fear, a lot of that fear can like compost down, and it becomes like the dark, rich earth that's going to nourish the new growth cycle that's already been initiated here on earth, and it's already been initiated in a lot of us, especially people who have been light workers, undercover light workers, a lot of us quietly doing very intense work in very, very dark and abusive places. Okay. So we're so all those ways we have to learn how to survive under those conditions. That's shifting out. Okay, so that's when we like a lot of that fear of, oh my God, how am I going to survive? This place is so, oh my God, I cannot, like, how is this going to happen? So that kind of fear. Yeah. So a lot of that's clearing out. Okay. So, another thing. So stop focusing on the problems. We know what the problems are. Hey, we know, we know what the problems are. Everybody knows what the problems are. There's a lot of solutions that are already here. A lot of people have been working quietly and very hard, very diligently behind the scenes. A lot of us, again, those light workers that have been holding that vision inside of us, waiting for the green light, you know, so we can start to run that eternal light frequencies through us, so it starts to imprint our light field. What's our light field? Our holographic reality that we experience as solid form. And again, shared more about that in the conversation I had with my friend Sunny. One more point, yeah, is when am I going to see the change? When I stop blaming others, when I stop blaming authorities, when I stop blaming things outside of me. That person's keeping me down, that structure, those authorities are pushing me down. I have to fight against them. It's their fault. They did this bad thing to me. Not saying that the suffering wasn't real. It absolutely needs to be acknowledged and healed, okay? What I'm saying is like shifting out of the victimizer game, that's the blame game, and into being a sovereign being, a sovereign soul with dignity, yeah? So acting with dignity, self-love, a lot of compassion, respect for yourself, yeah, respect for the differences. There's a lot of different choices going on out there in the field right now, so a lot of respect, okay? And take a few quiet moments. There's a lot going on. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I'm listening all the time, and it's like, how do I translate that into English language words? So there's always a lot of energetics transmitting through when I'm sharing these video times with you all who are listening. I am so grateful for each and every one of you for engaging in going through this transformation with your eyes open, willingly or unwillingly, you know. That's all okay. Be easy on yourself, you know. Everyone's super hard on themselves. Everyone feels like they should be doing more. They're not doing enough. What's wrong with me? That's a lot of the old program that's still running, you know. Gradually, that's just getting washed and cleansed away. A lot of that energy that was trapped in those old stories just getting released. So we got some new stories about life, new stories about ourselves, new stories about the earth. Yeah. All right. So again, thank you for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thank you so much for subscribing. I love your comments so much. I love the responses that people are giving to other people's comments too. Wow. And just such a confirmation, affirmation. We're not alone in this. We do have each of our own unique experience. And just remember, light is running the planet now, and open to see those little changes wherever you are, whatever you are doing in your life right now. All right. See you next time.